I don't know how you manage all of your like stuff. Like, thank you for it, like for being here. We have
Yeah.
like
Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me.
we have a questions for you to start with, but before, like, you need no introduction, but please, if you may introduce yourself to, for posting it on like
Oh, I've got
this
the video on. Can you
platform.
see me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I just
all good.
realized, I was like, where was it? Cool.
You used to before, right?
Yeah, I have, but I don't know. My video wasn't on for a second. I was like, where am I? There we go. That's
Uh,
better.
yeah,
Cool.
welcome back. So yeah, I need a like brief introduction, Daniela, if you may. Which
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm a Melbourne-based artist in Australia, and I've been painting consistently for about 10 years now. Canvases and big murals as well.
That's
Okay,
something
that's
dope.
epic.
Before
And
we start the questions, if I may, like share a small story. I literally followed Daniel a long time ago, and one time I was like, Daniel, I don't know if you remember me, but I followed you. I was like, from the like when I literally downloaded Instagram, yani. I think
Really?
it
Wow,
was
that's so
yeah,
long.
I have like cool pictures as well at the beginning.
Thank
Then
you
like
so much.
yeah, I saw
yeah,
your journey. It's so inspiring, like for real.
Thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
and he sent me your account like almost a week ago, and I was checking through it, and I was like I got a bit nervous because of the amazing work you're doing, and like
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
honestly,
for
like
real.
I've never spoken to an artist this big. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not an art, like I did not know. I just draw like stick figures.
oh, I want to see your work. You have to send it to me.
I'm not that
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not that big. Like, I'm a fan of art, but not an artist. But honestly, the art you do, it's like
Yeah, it's like
it's mind
it's
blowing.
amazing.
Honestly, it's
Oh,
epic.
Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate it.
The,
Thank you
the
so
details
much.
around it, and of course you've heard it before, but honestly, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
your art is really cool.
Thank
I
you.
went through your account.
Thank you.
So yeah,
So
to start with, Haya, you have like
yes, so one of the first questions that popped up in my head when Mansour told me that we're interviewing you is the fact of, like, how did you start? How did you like? How did you think, like, oh, that's art? That's what I want to do my entire life.
Also, I guess as a child, I was always drawing and painting, and I'm 28 now. So when I was younger, we didn't really have a lot of technology. We didn't have games
yeah.
or computers or anything.
Yeah.
So that was really all I did, was just sit there for hours and draw and paint. And so as I got older, I found myself doing a little bit more and trying more mediums, and I moved to watercolors, and then I moved to acrylics.
Yeah.
And so then when I was finishing school, we call it high school. I'm not sure if it's a bit
Yeah,
different
same.
there, but before you go to university. So
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's different. So
Yeah.
and then I was going to study only health sciences, because I thought that being an artist, you wouldn't be able to make a living. And then actually my family encouraged me to pursue it.
To proceed.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and so I ended up studying art as well. And then I sort of just so to answer your question, I didn't really make the leap. I built up my business and was working on my
Mhm.
art while I
Mhm.
was studying and while I was working a few other jobs. So yeah. And then as I
Yeah.
got busier and
Amazing.
busier, I sort of kept going.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Amazing. Like, but you
So that's
started in a young age, yeah, right? Like, since you were a child, you were like always having your thoughts about drawing, right? Like being an artist.
yeah. I'd say
Yeah.
like from when I was 2 or 3, I'd
oh, that's
Oh,
yeah.
all right.
yeah. So
That's
really,
something
really
amazing.
young. Yeah.
Honestly, it's such a great thing that your parents encourage you to do such thing, because honestly, like, generally, not just in this part of the world, they don't approve of these arts, and because it's not an unstable, non-traditional job.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, another question is like, how did you feel from in the inside? Like, did you feel unsure about what you were doing, or you were all to it
Well,
during?
yeah, as you said, like it is, it's still unstable. And I guess it is seen as, sometimes I'm working and people are like, what do you do for a real job? I'm like, this is my job. But, they're still, I still get asked those
Yeah.
questions. So I was definitely, and I mean, I'm not unsure now. I think in the last
Yeah.
few years, I've been more sure of what I was doing. But for a long time there, I was quite like, oh, is this the right thing
Yeah.
to do?
Yeah.
Is this going to be something I can do for a living? So, yeah, so I think everyone has those doubts, but then more so in, more so
Yeah.
in creative fields that are
Exactly,
inconsistent
that's the
and they're
thing.
like
Yeah.
Exactly.
this. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's the thing like where you should keep going. Sometimes like even you like you could doubt yourself. I'm like you're like should I like proceed what I'm doing? Should I find a real job?
Yeah.
Like is it gonna benefit me in the future?
Of course,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a bit stressful, but once you find yourself doing it like more, I think like you start to
Yeah.
like it
You
more, and
create
you
Yeah.
yeah,
you create your
and
own
you
path. Like
create
you
more
make your own
exactly.
major. Like if you really wanted to
Career
do it,
like
that's
yeah,
like the chances around you are going to be more like on your ratio. And that's another
Definitely.
thing where,
exactly.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then there comes a time like in such current situations, like no job is stable at the moment, so might as well do your creative thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just do
Like,
your
look at
thing.
what's going on in the world at the moment. Some of the most stable jobs, have been thrown
Thrown
all
away.
with, like,
Yeah,
it's crazy. So
yeah,
Definitely.
you don't know. So I think as long as you're doing something you love, and I mean, I thought I was going to be in a little bit of trouble
yeah.
coming into the whole COVID thing too. And I was like,
Yeah.
like what's going to happen? Fortunately, I've managed to sort of keep working. But
Thank
yeah,
God.
as you said, like you
Mm.
really don't know. Like it's one of those things. But yeah, I feel like if you love it and you're passionate about it, you always make it
Mhm.
work
You always,
somehow.
yeah,
So
you're
Definitely,
gonna have
yeah.
your own career. All right, Daniel, I
yeah,
have a question. Like, what does your work like aim to say? Like, first of all, and second of all, like, does your artwork does it represent you in a way, in type of way?
yeah. What was the first question? Sorry, I missed
Like,
that
what
one.
does your work like aim to say? Like, what is like your ambition, as an artist or as
Yeah,
a
what
Yeah.
motivates
yeah,
you?
Yeah,
yeah,
I think like travel has always been my biggest source of inspiration, but I look to like I literally all day, every day, wherever I look, I try to find inspiration, whether it's in the garden or going for a walk or talking to
yeah,
people. I gain wisdom from talking to people, even just my elderly neighbors. I always run across the road and talk to them because
yeah.
Mhm.
you just don't know what sort of inspiration you're going to gain from
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
So people, and then more specifically, which is what I sort of showcase on my Instagram, is
Hmm.
painting people with amazing stories and sort of keeping their memories alive and what they've achieved alive through painting,
Yeah.
famous people as well, of all cultures, of all nationalities.
Uh-huh.
And I think travel allows me to do that too. As I said, I was in Abu Dhabi last year, and I thought I
Yeah.
some of the inspiration, and the people are so lovely as well. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just constantly traveling. I think that's my biggest inspiration. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
And
a question.
yeah.
Um,
Yes, Lisa.
when who got you into art, or did you find it by yourself?
Hi, what's your name? I haven't met you yet.
Lisa.
Oh,
Lisa.
cool. Thanks for the question. My family, they pushed me into art, I guess, because I didn't know that it would be a secure career. So I was looking into other options. So my
Mhm.
family encouraged me to do it. And I guess I watched my mum paint, and
Yeah.
my dad's a chef, so he's a little bit
Oh,
creative as
cool.
well. So yeah, so I guess my family was my biggest push into
Because
doing it.
Yeah.
and
It's
like yeah,
that
yeah. Go ahead.
yeah.
Hey.
So it's interesting that you say that travel is your motive to drawing, because as you said, like your father is a chef. So honestly,
Mhm.
like the way like travel can be an inspiration for many, but the way like the way they spend it is different types of art. So like your
Mm.
art is murals and paintbrushes, and like let's say your father's art is like cooking and spices and stuff. So
100%. Yeah.
yeah, so art can like be translated into many different like ways, and the type of art you make is honestly again mind blowing and epic. Like
Oh,
Yeah,
honestly,
thank
yeah.
you.
And like
Thank you.
Daniela, I have an also like question, and it's like something really cool, but at the same time, I think it's tough. Like, how did you like manage? Like, how do you have the ability like to draw and like study like more than one field? Like I see pictures of you drawing like athletes. Like one day I see you picture drawing like cartoon. I think Dragon Ball Z, which is I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Z, and then I saw you drawing like rappers sometimes. Like you have the ability to like to know like more than one culture. Like you feel me?
Yeah. yeah.
So that's something not easy, you know, not easy to know, not easy to study, not easy to manage. So like how do you know, like how do you study more than one field? Is it like to focus more on your drawings, like on your art
Yeah, well,
basically?
I think, you know, because when I studied art at university, they tried to say that you needed to find a style, and you know, and to me that sort of, that one style is quite boring, as in like I
Boring,
was like,
yeah,
well, I
yeah,
don't really want to paint the same thing for the rest of my life. What if I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
painting abstract? So I guess I sort of, you know, I didn't stick to one style. I would
One,
try
yeah,
abstract, I would try cartoons, and then, you know, maybe when I was getting a bit tired of painting realism, I'd switch
yeah.
to another, like another medium or another style. And I guess then
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah.
noticed, I'm like, oh, this keeps my passion alive by doing a lot of different projects, and then I don't get tired of doing the same thing. So I think
Yeah,
that applies to anything in life, that you keep things interesting by trying
exactly,
different things and always doing
exactly.
new things. And so, and also like by me, you know, working with all styles, that allows
Yeah,
me to
yeah.
get more work as well, because more people are like, oh, she doesn't just paint portraits, you know, she can paint
Exactly. That's
animals. And
that was
yeah,
my
Yeah.
reaction. Yeah, because like I
yeah,
see some, I see some like artists. They're good. Like they're dope, but they always draw the same thing, you know, on and on again.
yeah,
Like I find the
yeah,
same
Yeah.
pictures,
Yeah.
which is I'm not. It's not something bad, but sometimes I'm like a bit bored, you know.
yeah.
Like
I think it's nice to be different sometimes, you know.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Keep people interested. Yeah, yeah.
And one
So
good thing that I realized that you do, Daniela, like you like also to follow the trend, which is something amazing. I remember one day there was a big match, like a Clasico match, Barcelona versus Madrid, and
yep,
like Messi scored a goal in the last second. And then he did the famous thing where he pulled his shirt
yeah,
up.
the shirt,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah,
then I saw you the next day, literally like you drew Messi and with his
yeah,
shirt up.
yeah.
So
Woo, good
yeah, yeah,
timing.
yeah. That I was like, it was yesterday.
You hit
How
Yeah,
did you
yeah,
manage to
yeah,
do
yeah.
it again? Yeah, yeah. It's
It's
yeah.
more
So
something
I
like
like,
think that's important too.
yeah, yeah.
So
Like I think
yeah.
nowadays, especially nowadays, you have to like follow the trend, and sometimes
100%.
like yeah, create your own like trend or like wave, you know, like not
Yeah,
It's like
only
definitely. I think if you
yeah,
can't do it, you like create your own, or like, yeah, but you got to keep up. It's just like with technology,
no,
you know, we maybe want to say, no, 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 I don't want to use it, but then you fall behind. So you
you
need to
follow
keep
yeah.
up with
exactly,
these
no
trends.
doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Like
yes,
follow the
So,
trend with your own personality, not just like
yeah.
follow and be its worshiper. It's
Agreed.
like yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah. But and like Daniela, like just going back to a question when you drew like numerous things and like they're all different. I think sometimes you have to feel the vibe, right? Like when you draw like a cartoon thing, you have to feel it, right?
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
you draw
Definitely.
an athlete, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
like
that's why now I'm very selective with what, because sometimes people come to me, you know,
hmm,
with perhaps cultural things that I don't understand, or religious things that I don't understand. And I'm just honest and I say, I don't think this is the right piece for me to, you know,
oh,
and they're
okay,
like, oh,
yeah,
but
yeah,
why? I know you'll be able to. And I said, because I don't think I'll be able to communicate. Maybe you'll see it like that, but I don't think I'll be able to communicate what I want to in this piece.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there
Yeah.
are pieces that I may give to other artists, or say, no, I don't think I'm the right person for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I thought you could draw anything, Daniela.
yeah,
Like honestly, when
I
I see
can,
you,
I
like
can,
just,
but
but
I
you
think
have.
there are, I think there are some things that are sensitive topics, or really,
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah, yeah.
political topics as
I
well.
feel
And
it.
I think
Yeah.
that, yeah, like I'm a little bit controversial, but not too controversial.
Yeah, no,
So
no, I feel you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like exactly. It's something like it's really something like amazing in as well in your character and like in your personality. When you're
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I can't feel like this vibe. I'm not gonna draw it. It's not something I totally appreciate
Yeah.
and understand. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
It
no
yeah,
doubt.
definitely,
definitely.
yeah, definitely is rare to find a person that is like doing art, like not just art, like any type of art out of passion, because now they just want to feed content and not
Yes.
feel what they're doing. So
Mm.
what motivates you to like do your own thing? Not even like as you said, you don't even do a piece of art that you don't want to do, but
Yeah.
say, like if you want to like do something that's your vibe, your energy, and you're really down to do it, but then like it's like the writer's block, like it blocks, like you don't get
Mm.
your motivation.
Yeah.
Where does it
Exactly.
drive and when does it happen?
That does happen. And that's that, coming back to what we said before, that's why I tend to work on a fair few pieces at the same time,
Mhm.
because if I don't feel like if I can listen to my mind, I'll take a break and I won't paint when I don't feel like it. But if not, I'll maybe do something completely different, or try a new medium, or sit down and do, go back to square one and do watercolors like I used to do when I first started. So I guess that keeps me, because it is artist block, it happens. It just, sometimes I'm sitting in front of the canvas and I'm like, okay, paint it. And like, you're just stuck. You just
like, what now?
So it does happen. But I think you either listen if you can and you don't have a deadline, you listen to your mind and your passion, you say, nope, not going to paint, or you try something else just to keep your passion there.
Keep it alive.
To be going. That's why it's
I wanna ask something.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask because I have like a few friends that are like small aspiring artists, and she told like it's quite hard to be acknowledged because there's so many talented people. I wanted to ask, what did it feel like when you were first acknowledged by something big? Like you felt like, I made it, like that feeling.
Yeah, good question.
What did it feel like?
I think, for so many years, and I don't know how long your friends have been doing it for, you sort of just feel like, why, you might have a few good days, and then most days you're like, why am I doing this? Is this going to get me somewhere? Like, when you keep going and going, and then you get to that moment where, and you like, there's no warning for those events when that happens. Like, all of a sudden you've popped up on a celebrity's feed and you're like, wow, like maybe I am doing the right thing. So I guess you've just got to believe that you will get to those moments, and then not get too excited when they happen, because at the end of the day, if you get, if you have those highs, there's going to be a low on the other side. So you take it, you're like, cool, that's happened. Look what I can do. Let's do something else. Like, we want more now. Whether or not that's 5 years down the track or a year down the track, there's going to be those highlights there. And it may not be, someone like a celebrity noticing you. It may be, a reaction that you get to a piece that you do for someone, or how much you affect a client that you've done something meaningful for, or things like that. So I think you got to take those wins, I'd say, as well.
But what would you say to like a person that's, for example, doing art right now, and they feel like they're stuck, like not in a writer's block kind of way or artist's block kind of way, but they're stuck because no one is acknowledging them. Like, for example, she made an Instagram account, but it doesn't get much followers, and she's trying to keep going, but no one's giving her that acknowledgement she's seeking. What do you have? Like, what type of advice do you have?
So I generally say people who are starting out, I say, as we were talking before, the trends, like do things that people are like, that's in or hot right now, and that people respond to, can relate to, maybe create conversation and be like, oh, look what this person did. So I'd say do that. I'd say when I first started out, I used to give away my paintings. I didn't get any money for them, and I just used to give them away just to get my name out there. And people have people around to their house, and then they see that piece and they're like, who did it? So I'd say, like, give out your work or get some feedback from your family, talk to your friends, just go around and say, hey, this is what I do, and start talking to people. I think word of mouth and who is really, really powerful, along with it, like, it complements social media. So it is hard, because the first sort of 3 or 4 years I was in that boat. Or maybe even try a different platform, download TikTok and do something different, or download like, use Facebook in a different way. So if it's not working for you, like, but like, I mean I've listened to, I don't know if you know David Cho, he's an artist, and I've listened to a few of his podcasts, and he sort of says, he gives people a timeline, which is quite harsh, but he's like, if you've been at it for 10 years and you're not going anywhere, then maybe that's the time to try something else, or go in another path and whatnot. So I mean, that's his timeline. Other people might have different expectations.
Like 10 years. Like people like to see some progress. I can relate to like Alex's question. Like, people like to be, and if they're doing something for a while and they don't find themselves like having a new audience or like a progress, they're gonna be like, well, why I'm doing it. But it's something tough, like, if I may, especially in like not in the Middle East, like in some countries there are like a lot of competitors, one, and like second of all, they don't understand what you're giving, what's your content in general. Like, some people are really working hard. I know some, like, good, for example, rappers here from the Middle East. They are working super hard. They're doing like a name for themselves, but people don't understand like what's wrong
Yeah.
here. You know, they're like, I think this is only in the US. It's only in the like.
They don't interpret it how you'd want them to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly, exactly. They're like, oh, you're imitating their style. You're imitating what they're doing. No, it's not. It's not necessary. Sometimes you could like take something that is like found like art or another thing, and you do it in
Yeah.
your own way, in your own like.
100%, which is what I do. You know, most people do. Like
Most
it
people
always,
do,
you know.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
I think like being yourself, it helps a lot. It helps like you also
yeah.
to reach out to your audience as well. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah,
So
Haya,
yeah,
what did you
that's the thing. Like some elder people around us, they feel like they don't take it in a positive way, the way we're connected to the world because of how they view it. But the way we view it is about us, like the diversifying, respecting each one's traditions. But then
Yeah.
again, let's say they take rap and they turn like they use Arabic words. They can use some like topics or like some stuff that's happening at the moment and whatever. So
Yeah.
it's not us being other people. It's us being ourselves
Yeah.
Yeah,
different
exactly.
tools, you know?
Do people get offended easily, or how would you explain it?
It's not they get offended, but they're like you're doing something just literally wasting your time. Like
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
two,
Okay.
you're like not doing something new or special. You're doing
Yeah.
something that's already there, and like they feel like you're wasting your time about doing something you love. It's something, you know, like not offendable, but it's like,
And
you
you're
know.
being drifted away from what your traditions are, which
Yeah,
has
yeah,
nothing to do. Like, it's not popular to rap in this side of the world, but
yeah,
when we do, it's in Arabic and it's about like it's about topics and it's about daily stuff and daily
Yeah.
struggles
So
and
we can
even
relate
culture.
to
Like
it.
exactly,
yeah,
we link the tradition to the rap or whatever creative art it is. But then again,
yeah,
they think we're being drifted and we're being brainwashed by the art, which is not how it is.
No.
Yeah,
No.
it's like they when you, for example, like the aunties and the uncles, they see what you're doing, they'd be like, oh, it's the Western community trying to brainwash you into doing these things,
Okay.
even though it's just like
yeah.
a form of art. And I don't think like
Well, it's a form of
over
expressing
here,
yourself too.
Definitely.
yeah,
Exactly,
it's
exactly.
it's like
Like,
I don't think like the fact that it's like a new generation that grew up on like social media and being able to like connect with other people and other communities, like now it's just not as close as it was before, and I think
Yeah.
that's making it
yeah.
even harder for new artists to bloom in the Middle East.
It is.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like
It is
funny,
hard.
and like a funny question. They always like ask you, all right, you're gonna do it for like how long? That's the first question they ask you. Like, okay, you're gonna do
Yeah.
something you love. Okay, how long? Like, I'm like, why how
It's
long?
not,
I
yeah, it's
can
a
do it.
part of
Yeah,
me, so it dies when
till I'm
I
done. You
do.
know.
You
Exactly.
know?
Yeah. That's a good answer. I like that. Yeah.
Like
So
for
are
real.
Yeah.
your parents, are all your parents like, are they supportive of creative
No,
fields
no,
or
yeah,
not?
big time, big time. Like
Big
Yeah.
if it wasn't for our parents, if it wasn't for our parents, like we wouldn't like started or launched this like connecting things,
Yeah.
human things.
That's
We
My
wouldn't,
amazing.
parents are the
yeah, we
Because
ones
I
that
wouldn't
have
like,
wanted
some
to go
friends
into
that are not.
culinary
So
arts.
yeah,
sorry, what
we
was
know
that?
art.
I know, I was saying that my parents are the ones that are encouraging me, being like, no, don't do engineering, go into culinary arts. So it's not
Amazing.
everyone.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah. So you
But
guys are
then,
fortunate. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
But
Like we
then
can't.
again, we can't blame like the previous generation. It's because our parents come from a place where they need to survive. So then again,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
imprint that on you. So having to have a stable job and a degree and everything is what they aim at for us to have because it's something they not
They
all
missed out.
of yeah they
Yeah.
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 Like
miss or something. Yeah,
they wanna secure your life, like by you
Yeah.
by
yeah.
telling you like have a like you should study, you should have a
Yeah,
Have the
they
certificate.
always say
opportunities that
just
we didn't
Yeah,
take your
have.
yeah. They
yeah,
always say like
exactly.
take your degree and leave. It's okay. Like you can like
Yeah, like,
I just want to make sure you have your degree and then you can do whatever you want. That's what I want to do. Like I want to satisfy my parents just to like get the degree and do whatever I want because
I
what
kind
I
of did that
want
too.
because what I
So yeah.
want is
you can
not
relate.
something that's
Yeah.
taught in classes and it's not something that I sign up for. I mean, it's something that I want to do. It's not do
Yeah.
not find it in schools or universities in general.
Yeah.
It's also like society's changing, so I feel like it's leaning more on like the creative side now. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too. I think a lot of big like brands and that's it, like in corporates and everything, they're all leaning towards creative
Definitely,
things
yeah.
now. So
And
yeah,
then,
definitely. It's
and
shifting.
lots of big companies around us are run by people that don't have degrees but have the potential, and people should wake up to the fact that potential and ability and experience is way much more valuable than a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, the degree doesn't stay
100%.
defined your abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
so
it's valuable and no one can take your education away from you.
Definitely.
But I also do know a lot of successful people that don't have degrees. So
you cannot downgrade or like you cannot differentiate or like lower the scale of people with experience and passion next to a person with a degree, because there's no difference. It depends on what you do with it. It depends on what you do with your situation. So yeah, so you having to do like your arts and everything is great because you took like your parents' creativity and you did something with, and your own creativity obviously, but their support also like, it drifted you to do your own thing. And that's something well respected, and people don't take advantage of what their surroundings are providing for them.
No, that's so true. So many so many talents and creative people that don't use it or don't actually go and do something with it. So.
And like let's appreciate and understand the amount of risk like Daniela took. Honestly, I'm not only saying this in like in front of you or something. I know a lot of people as well. They took like big risks. They were like, I saw them struggle. I didn't see you struggle, but I saw them struggle. I can relate as well. They're like, okay, these are like risks, and like they were like setting up some goals, and they're like, if I didn't achieve like one of them, I'm gonna be like, depressed and like, why did I start this thing? But once they reach like their other goals, once they reach or they see like some progress, they like to take even like more big risks. They're like, they're like, what's next? What's next?
It motivates you more. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. They're like,
I have a question.
Yes.
So I started drawing a long time ago, and I haven't been drawing anything for 2 months. It's because like it's quarantine, and I haven't really found anything to draw. Do you know? And like my type of drawing, it's not using colors or anything. It's just shading and like drawing. Like, what do you think I could get inspiration from to start drawing again?
What do you usually? What's your usual style? What do you like drawing?
I draw a lot of like superheroes and like a bit more realistic side and details and stuff.
Why don't you start doing maybe some like ink, like some pen work with maybe some like shapes and mandala and some patterns and line drawings and things like that.
Okay, I'll take your advice.
Or even take some photos of some things around you and use like the photos that you've taken and use like look to like, don't just look at it really, really well. And you'll see like even where I'm looking now, I've got two chairs like this and you've got lines and you've got shapes. So use them as inspiration to maybe tone it back a little bit. Because obviously when you're drawing characters, you need to be quite precise to make it look like who you want it to. But if you're not if you need some more inspiration, go into doing something that's a bit more free, and that hopefully will motivate you to do something else.
So I think sometimes when you change your type or style, it's like it's gonna benefit you more. Like
it's a good thing. Yeah,
it's a good thing. Like being more creative. Like Danielle, honestly, before showing, like you met someone who I really like, and I think all of us like we like him as well, which is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I was a bit jealous. I'm gonna be real. But honestly,
a lot of people are. All my friends are too. So
something like it's really like I'm super proud. I don't know why, because when I saw you like drawing him for the first time, then I saw you like taking a picture with him. It's something
You're like, what?
It's something really amazing. So Haya, can you show the picture?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we need to show.
Speaking of people that, by the way, hi, my name's Shahad.
Hello.
Speaking of people that you met, well, you didn't meet this person, but I saw that we follow the same person, and that guy is Jay Brooks, I think his name is. And I was a huge fan of his when I was younger, and like a huge like fangirl, I was young and celebrity crush and stuff. I was a huge fan of him, and then I stopped like dealing with him, and then a few weeks ago I checked his account again, and I realized that he has art, and I was like, whoa, we
As in
relate.
like my art?
No, he has an art account, and you follow him.
Oh,
I thought it was cool that we both follow
that's
the same
cool.
guy. I don't know,
Yeah,
it's a side comment.
Yeah, small world. I'm on the other side of the world and we both fan over the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So that's Daniela's page, like everyone.
Yeah.
Music page. Hey, where's the rock picture? I need to see it again. Already saw it like.
Gotta go down.
Yeah. Because I was like a huge WWE fan. Then when I saw him in Hollywood,
That's like day one fan. That's dedication.
yeah,
There you
like
go.
I was like, well,
That's
picture.
so
Is it
cool.
in Australia, Daniela? Is it like in your home country?
No,
or-
that's in Boston.
Oh, in Boston.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
weird. It's like two different worlds and like in one picture.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
so
By the way,
epic.
can you tell us like about him, like a brief, slightly like.
Yeah.
Because he's always smiling. He's always having this energy.
Yeah.
Like he drives me. He drives me like crazy
He
sometimes.
I know, he drives me crazy too, because I don't
Yeah.
understand how someone can be so busy and in such in high demand, and he's so friendly to everyone and
Yeah.
has time for everyone. Honestly, like everyone's like, is he as nice and as genuine as he comes across? And I'm like, more like he's unreal. And I guess like, yeah, is an inspiration in a sense that like, sometimes you get frustrated when you have to do something or talk to someone. And I'm just like, think of what The Rock would do. Like he's just so friendly and he's so nice to everyone, and he's so busy as well. So
yeah.
it's
It's something inspiring. I saw him in an interview, like explaining his schedule, like his daily schedule.
ridiculous.
I was like, no way. I think he's not like he's either lying or he's like,
Yeah, I saw
how
it.
come? Like how come?
Yeah.
Like it's super busy and he manages to succeed in all of them.
Yeah, I think he wakes up at like 4 or 6 a.m. every day, and sometimes I
Yeah.
don't even do that for school.
No, he does. He's most of the time he's up at 4 a.m. when he's on set, and then he'll work and root till really late, and then he generally trains again and then does it all again.
Does it all like.
So did you like meet him on a set?
Yes, on set. Central Intelligence was a few years ago. That
Yeah, I love this movie.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah,
It's kind of
same.
funny.
Yeah.
Movie,
Yeah. So,
I like
no,
this movie.
I have
Yes.
a question about again the way you view the world. So now that you got more into art, and the more you get into art, like I can see like your details, your attention to detail, obviously, and like the shading and everything. So how did that affect you in viewing the world itself? So now, like when you look at something, is it as detailed as it was, or how is it?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is, buildings, and like I think the more detail I pick up in paintings and execute in paintings, the more detail I see wherever I look. Like, I was going and picking some vegetables in the garden the other day, and they had like little water droplets on them, and I was just so fascinated. Like you look at them, and then like the closer you look, the more you see. And then I think I was standing there for like 15 minutes taking photos of like these little like water droplets. So yeah, that's so true. You do. And you know what, I probably didn't actually realize that, so it's a good question.
So yeah, and another question, I don't know if you might like the question, but where do you see yourself in the future? And yeah, like what's next?
So for me at the moment, I'm sort of just working on conquering a few bigger murals. So just bigger walls and a few more challenges. And then I guess, which relates to what we've been speaking about the whole time really, is more so public speaking to encourage people to pursue what they love. And probably talking to parents, because as we said, it usually starts from the parents, that they don't pursue something that they love rather than something that they feel like their parents missed out on, if that makes sense. So so some public speaking, and then perhaps maybe looking into art therapy and mental health, because I think
amazing
it's a big thing at the moment, and I think that
huge thing, especially
perhaps
in the
social media isn't used enough for it to talk about it and explain that, yeah,
Definitely.
it's a real
Yeah.
thing. So
It's great that you you're using such a platform for many to tackle different stuff, and having art to be like used for many different things again is
Yeah.
mind blowing. Yeah, the way that you
yeah,
can counter
yeah,
one idea with other stuff definitely
it's
is
important.
And like Daniel, I like how I always see like progress and something new on your page. Like I never like honestly, I never like failed to be impressed, by a picture or a topic like that you show.
Oh,
Even
thank you.
yeah, even though like sometimes when there's a special moment, for example, in like for an athlete or for a rapper like who got an award or something, like you even make it more special when you like post his picture. Like some
Oh,
people
thank
will, yeah, some people will be like, okay, I'm gonna post like something about him, but it's something that already like it's shown before, we saw it. It's not
yeah,
something
yeah, yeah,
new. Yeah, you
yeah,
feel me?
yeah. I try.
Yeah, yeah,
It
because
is hard, like, content, like people who take photos for content, like it's a lot quicker than,
yeah,
spending hours and hours and hours on a painting. So
painting
you have to
the
work pretty hard to keep the
Yeah.
correct,
content up.
yeah. And then in
Yeah.
a
Well,
short
still,
amount,
I just think you're right.
in a short amount of time as well. Like sometimes I see it when like I see there's a as I say before, like as I mentioned, an athlete or something who accomplished something. You just post his picture in a short amount of time, like the next
Mm,
day.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah,
something bro,
yeah.
like
Oh, good. Thank you.
I wanna
Yay.
yeah,
I wanna ask something. I wanted to address the fact that you said that like I don't know why it just seemed that since you like art and you grew up in such a like artistic kind of creative side of things family, I wanted to ask like what piece of advice would you have for the people that don't have the privilege of knowing what they want? Like you said, you wanted to help people figure out what they wanted to do with like you wanted to help them pursue the artistic side of them. What about the ones that don't know what they want to do or they feel like they don't have an artistic side to them?
That's a good
At-
question. Yeah, well, for people, because a lot of people do come and they say, I enjoy it, but I don't know if I'm good at it. And a lot of people that, come to me and say, I don't actually know what I want to do with my life or where I want to go. And I say, well, what did you enjoy as a kid? What did you enjoy, because as children, you don't overthink things. You don't have pressure. You don't have, lots of life things happening. You tend to absorb everything, but being a child, it's for the most part quite a happy time in your life because you get to do lots of things that you love doing. So I always say, like, what did you enjoy back then, and what did you find yourself doing quite often as a child? And then if you can't find anything, then I'd sort of say to maybe try a new hobby. And it might not be painting or anything as such, but it might be like designing, or you go find someone who does a job that you might think you like and go to work with them, or ask them, reach out to other people and talk to them about what they do as well. So use your resources.
that's
As you
true.
guys said, like, we've got so access to the internet. It might be frowned upon sometimes these days, but at the end of the day, we've got so many resources that we can access and people that we can talk to. We're on the other side of the world right now and we're having a talk about, do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, exactly.
right,
But
exactly.
because of the internet as well, like you feel inferior. You often feel very inferior because, for example, like people like you, for example, when I look at myself, I'm like, wow, she grew up and she knew what she wanted to do and she had a passion. Like, that kind of inferiority you feel when you see people on the internet. I feel like
I totally, I say that it can either lift you up or, like, depending on how you're feeling that day, you can be
exactly.
like, like, I'm doing really well. You're like, oh. So I think that's why you've got to, like, limit yourself too. If you feel like it's getting to you on that level, like, be like, no, that's what I'm not going to go through Instagram today, because I think everyone has their own journey. And I feel like that too. I look at other people's and I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? Like, of this, like, I suck at the moment. Like, my painting's not good. Like, so everyone goes through that. That's not just, and and I think that it's you. The problem is with Instagram is you see the highlights. You don't see everything else. And
everything.
I didn't know what I
Picture.
wanted to do. First I wanted to be a tennis player, and then I wanted to be a chef, and then I wanted to be a food scientist, and I studied health science. And then I was really bad at school. Like I was good at school, but I was quite rebellious. So, you know, so I've gone through like lots of different stages in my life to get to where I am now. It's not as if I knew, you know, and that's probably something that people don't know because you see the end result. You don't see the journey that you, you know, and that's why I try to talk about it as much as I can and say, hey, you know, like it's a journey. And I still have friends that, you know, one of my friends said to me, she's a nurse and she's done events and marketing. And she said to me, she goes, you know, I'm thinking of studying law. And I said, do it. Like, go back to uni and do it.
Why not?
And some people are like, oh, but like, you know, she's nearly 30. I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm like, and if she does law and she doesn't want to do it, go find something else. Like who has a time limit on you? You know what I mean? Like time doesn't exist. It's So
just a number. I was like age
definitely is a number. And then if you don't do it now, when are you gonna do it? Like again, a cliche, but it's never too late.
And like one important point Danielle like said and mentioned is not like, okay, sometimes it's good to have a role model, like you like to not follow his like path or like steps. You like to, you know, do some similar stuff to him, but at the same time, like remember always to be yourself, because if you want to compare everything you have accomplished to him, maybe he's like he's moving, you know, a bit mad, like his progress is a bit like, you know, so you can't say, oh, I'm not doing like the progress he's doing, I'm not having the same potential like he's having. No, it's just like baby steps, you know, like step one, step two.
Definitely.
Honestly,
my biggest thing I say is stay in your own lane. So that's like, I always say that, I'm like, just focus on what you're doing, because I find when I do get caught up in what other people are doing, it puts me down. It doesn't lift me up. So if you know that you're kind of person, then definitely just stay focused. Don't go and, you know, look at other people, what they're doing. If it's not going to be inspiration. No,
that's even like my mom. Yeah, like just want to mention something. My mom sometimes she's like, Masoor, it's not even debatable. Like don't follow others like and see like what they're doing, what they're accomplishing. Stay in your like zone, in your own lane. And like it's good to take the good things from them, but don't be like, oh, I'm not doing like, you know, I'm not having that progress, or whatever. Like just be yourself. And like I think when it comes with by the time, it's like more precious and more like. Even like you could share your story with other people. It's not like something fun, when others like helps you, like famous people or whatever, you know. Like we have some famous people here who always reach like sometimes they try to help. For example, like, you know, social media, like vloggers or social media, like superstars or whatever, and they can like mention or share your account. And I honestly, one time I thought about it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask him to help me by like posting my account or something. But like I swear, like I was like, no, Mansoor, like do it yourself. No, let him let him reach out to your account. Let him tell you, Mansoor, you have an amazing account, amazing content. That's better, you know.
Agree. That's a good point.
Because sometimes within comparing, you lose yourself in the process. So
true. Definitely. Agree.
So I have a question.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Was there ever a point in your life where your art helped you?
Yes, definitely. I probably like 15, 16 years old. I was quite rebellious and I was hanging out with the wrong people and I was doing the wrong things. So I truly believe that it helped me at that point in my life, and then more so when I've been in like really bad mental states for various reasons that I hadn't dealt with things, then yes, definitely helped me as well.
Do you think it ever changed you in a way?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So
definitely.
Another question of mine is, how did you decide, like, okay, I'm gonna move to big murals? Because honestly, it's like having to keep track of what's happening up there is like, what the hell?
I was terrified. I was, you know, people asked me to do murals for about a year before I actually did one, because I was just like, no, like I don't want to paint your wall. And then I was just like, you know what, let's just give it a try and see how it goes, and it went okay. So
you did it in the UK, right? In London, I think. I remember I remember two countries actually
No, I've
in
only
what
got murals in Australia, and there's one in
okay
Spain.
Spain. Well, you did that one like huge. I think it was for Arnold, right?
Yes, so that's in.
Yeah,
I
I
sent that
remember.
one into America. Yeah, so
Oh,
that.
it was in the
Yeah,
US, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
That was amazing. Like drawing the person, and then he comes. He met you, right? He just came to.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was inspiring as well.
So that
So
was
yeah,
cool too.
Daniel, that's like weird question, but like, have you ever like you drew something or you did an art or something and you like it the most? Like, can I ask what's your favorite one?
Yeah,
Or
what's your
there's
favorite?
no?
Oh, see, it's so hard. Murals, I'd probably maybe say the one of the rock. I really like that mural. That's
Yeah, that
cool.
was
Being a bit biased, but
yeah.
and then a canvas of like me and my brother when we were younger. That's like my favorite painting. So
Oh, okay. That was
yeah.
like it's a special moment, right?
Yeah, like it's
Yeah,
not
special pain.
technically my best painting or anything, but I just like it.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
was special, yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, by the way, like I have a question regarding like not regarding the art, but do you have like other hobbies outside of your work, like outside of your main
Yeah,
thing to do?
I do work a lot
Please
and I don't
share
get
them, yeah.
time for much. But
Yeah,
I mean, I see my friends and my family. I spend a lot of time with my family.
yeah.
Travel, I'd see as a hobby because I love doing it. And then
Traveling, yeah.
exercise. Like I love sport. I love training. I love
Yeah.
like walking. Cooking. I love cooking. So
Oh, okay.
eating.
That's that's
Yeah.
the most
So
major one for here eating.
yeah.
By the way, I also have a question about you though. Did you ever draw Venom? Because I like to draw him. I would like to
I
see like
haven't. No. You
no?
can send me a photo of yours though.
Yeah, I think I said it. Venom one.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
So
you did
yeah,
say that.
I can see within
uh,
like scrolling down, it's like the sometimes you use like shading and then other times you use like colors and then at some point like in the
yeah.
the very last picture you posted it's like such art which is fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diversifying and like that's the thing they like people as again people say they think you have a type but it's just you doing your personality and what you feel like doing so it doesn't have a
Yeah.
specific thing and different motives
Yeah.
Yeah.
other like as you said traveling so like that country is inspired by that and then you enjoy it and then like you
Like
reflect it on your
even the content
canvas.
higher, even her content. Like sometimes one day I
Yeah.
remember the first drawing I saw from Muhammad Ali. By the way, he's my idol. You know, I was like.
Yes.
I was like, what the heck? This is boxing. How come she knows boxing? How come she does boxing? Then the other day, it was like Mike Tyson in his birthday. Yeah. I was like, "Wow, Mike Tyson. I know Mike Tyson." It was something
Yeah, it's like
weird, you know, very funny.
you bring different worlds and different cultures into
Yeah,
one
like,
in your page, which is
Yeah. And I
yeah.
think that's quite beautiful. The beautiful thing about art, and I've had with all the protesting that's going on in the world, about the Black Lives Matter and everything. I've had some people message me and they're like, how can you not say anything? And I just said, I'm like, doesn't my art say enough? Like I paint all cultures of all
Yeah,
religions.
exactly.
I'm like,
exactly.
I don't actually physically need to sit here and
Um,
explain that I
Yeah,
support and believe in and
exactly.
like enjoy exploring all cultures and all
All
walks of
cultures, yeah.
life. So
You
yeah,
could,
so I just let my art talk because at the end of the day, there's I don't understand,
Mhm,
so I
mhm,
don't want to say too much, but I try to
exactly.
understand and I try to explore those things through my art. So
Yeah.
it's just a different way of expressing.
It's the best way actually. You could post like 100 videos on your story talking about
Yeah.
something, and like it's it's not beneficial, and you like
yeah.
just saying the same thing again and again, and
Yeah,
draw like
yeah,
one picture or do one art that says it all, sums it all.
everything.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and I just think that, spreading hate in the world is never gets anyone anywhere.
Yeah,
To
definitely it
a
doesn't.
place.
And yeah, that's why I guess I just try to respond with
It's
kindness.
something interesting, by the way, Daniela. Did like honestly, true question. Did you receive like a lot, like on your during your career? Like, did you receive a lot of like negative comments or like
Yeah, I
hate?
do.
But the hate,
Yeah.
the hate like that. Do you know the hate that? No, that's not like super like tough or something. They're like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your
Absolutely.
time? Yeah, that's that type of hate.
I've copped like all of the above, all of what you just mentioned. I've copped some pretty horrible messages and like
my God.
so. But I think, you know, if you put yourself on social media, you know that those
You
are
expect
that's what you're
Something,
open
yeah,
to. So
yeah.
you can't be like, oh, poor me. You know, I think
Yeah.
that
But
you
how do you deal with them, Daniel? Because honestly, sometimes, like when I do something and receive like some negative comments, I'll be like serious. You know, I'm not the best person to deal with it because sometimes I'm like, I'm not only gonna prove him wrong, I'm gonna like even laugh in his face, or like I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna
yeah
send my pictures to him. I'm like, gonna be like, look what I did. You know, like honestly,
yeah.
yeah, it's not something easy to handle. So how did you like handle it during your career? Like, did you just so
I
laugh about it?
used to I used to be affected by it, and I guess I used to get upset, but I've learned to just ignore, like delete and ignore, and don't give people that attention. Sometimes if I do feel like responding, if I'm in a mood, I'll just
Yeah,
give like with humor, or like I'm smart ass, like I don't know if you say that there.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
So sometimes I find the amusing side of it. But
Yeah.
also in saying that, I am careful because you don't know what mindset they are in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Obviously, they're not
definitely.
quite right to be saying something like that. And I don't want to, you know, make anyone feel like, or, you know, be
Exactly.
responsible
Like
for anything.
I'm always like honestly, I'm always telling my
Yeah.
mom I don't wanna like yes men in my life. I don't like honestly, I'm sorry, like, but I hate yes men who like just are hyping you up and you're literally doing the wrong thing. You know,
Yeah.
it will end by you like doing something like controversial and something like, you know, bad.
Terrible.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will
but
affect
I
you in
like
the end.
exactly. I like when people are like my relatives, my family. They're like, Masoor, you're doing the wrong thing. You
Yeah.
don't be like, you know, like you're following the wrong steps. I like when people actually tell me this, but sometimes it's I don't know. I'm like a bit lost because sometimes I'm doing something I love, something that drives me to do like my best. You know, give it all. At the
Yeah.
same time, they're like, Masoor, don't waste your time. You know, it's a waste of
Yeah, that's
time.
hard.
So
Yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah,
deal
like
with.
having opening
Really
a
hard.
page or opening up about a new hobby or new something like a
Big
non-traditional
thing.
thing. It's having
Yeah.
again to open up to and open your mind and your like understanding to more people and more hatred or different like not just hatred or different types of like support, different types of criticism. So like opening up a page or opening up like to people about
Yeah.
your passion that comes with a package, you know, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And
Definitely.
that's the thing, like there's a beauty of it, but being able to open up, but you do open yourself up, and because you love it so much, it hurts a little bit more if you do get,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
criticism
Yeah.
and
But then
whatnot.
it's more
So
worth it.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, and it makes you grow. So I think
Yeah.
that
Grow
those
faster.
things,
Yeah. You're
you
correct.
Great
know,
package.
take them, and they're like, I'd be like, I'd put that in my pocket, and I'm happy with that. Like even if
Yeah.
it's
So.
negative. So yeah,
By the way,
so
Daniel, I just realized the time. I'm really sorry. Like I swear I
that's
didn't.
okay. No
No, it
stress.
was like 5 minutes, you know, and I could do more. I swear I could go
Yeah,
all
we
day.
were.
I'm really like, you know, I think this is the best episode till now. We used to
Yeah,
have one
yeah,
where we had like
Yeah.
a band, like I don't know,
Oh, thank
I'm not
you.
sure if you know it. Yeah, we had a team, a cool team
Thank
that was
you.
good as well. But this one so far is the best.
yeah.
Thank
I know
you.
they're
It's
gonna
having
be
to
Appreciate
my
it.
diversifies
story.
our
Yeah, mostly
So
because this
plans.
connects to like different subjects. Like
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly,
that's
and like
awesome. That's awesome
like
to hear.
what a
yeah.
like as we
So
say,
honestly,
So
mashallah,
you have
human
to
appreciate.
being,
you have
really.
to send me when you do the drawings that I told you to do. You have to send them
Yes,
to
yes,
me.
yeah,
Now I'm keeping you accountable. You can't not do it because I'm waiting for the photos.
By the way, Daniela, I also owe you a thank you. One time I shared with you an account, my cousin's account. She's Shahad. Shahad, are you there? I think
Sure.
Shahad. I don't know. I shared an account. Do you remember when I shared your account and you checked your account?
I
That
got
was
paid.
also
Probably I
an
get like
amazing.
200 messages a day, so
Oh, right, but
try to.
that was something
Yeah.
amazing, you know. And
Yeah.
thank you for real. Like you made my day and her
Did
day.
I have a look at her work?
Yeah, and you also
Yeah.
you liked her picture as well. That was something big, you know.
Okay.
Something
Beautiful. Well,
amazing.
if you're
Yeah,
there,
thank
amazing
you for
work.
that.
I'm sure if I go back through our messages, I'll have a look and I'll remember.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
For sure, no doubt.
definitely.
Like
Yeah.
thank you very much.
I've already
Really,
Yeah.
sent you two photos that I
Then
drew. So if you have time, can you see them?
Yeah. Send it through my Instagram and I'll have a look for you.
Sure. Like really
It's dinner
grateful
time
to.
now here in Melbourne, but I'll have a look when I can.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
So
yeah, guys,
honestly,
trust me. I saw Daniel's schedule. Like I swear, I'm being real.
oh, he
By
sent
the
me
way,
like a.
I sent you a small
I can
picture of
send
it.
Yeah,
you
it
a
looks.
I
It looks
just
like you're
like
editing a.
like like if I'm having your day, I
It
think
looks
I'm gonna
crowd.
kill
I don't know
Yes.
someone.
if you can
Like, oh,
if you can see it.
Yeah.
yeah, I saw it.
That's
Crowded. Yeah, and I
this one's
appreciate.
actually not too bad. So
I
yeah.
think you're inspired by the rock, huh? By working hard. Like honestly, because
Yeah, that's the Rock's fault.
no, no, it's a bit
It's
mad.
Such a
nice
Like,
to
great
be
role model.
busy.
Yeah.
something
And I
great.
appreciate your you coming up here and appreciate your
For real,
humbleness and you being able to share with people and like
I appreciate you guys. I think it's amazing that art can connect people on the other side of the world from different
Yeah.
cultures. It's just unreal. So
Yeah,
I love
That's
it.
our
It's
main goal.
amazing.
That's our main goal. Like
and
that
like
was our main goal when we started. I think we did a huge compliment today by having you. Honestly,
yeah, as I
by
guess.
discussing more than like several topics. Yeah, and I wanna. My mom was like, she went to Australia one day. She had like a workshop over there. I was like, "How was Australia, mom?" She's like, "It's hot. It's even more hotter than here in the
No
Middle East."
way.
Yeah, she's like, I took the wrong clothes. I went, I did the wrong thing. But
Really?
yeah, because she didn't
That's
know where
so
she was
funny.
going. But
Yeah.
she had like fun, and
It
there was
does get
also,
hot, but it's definitely not as hot as like when I went to Abu Dhabi in
yeah,
October, and
oh.
apparently that's not even hot. Apparently that's
Yeah,
like the cold
October is
season.
Currently
one of
it's like
yeah.
And
at
I was
peak.
like, oh, I couldn't breathe.
like fam,
Exactly.
like now I think it's 40 something, 48 like right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, like
Right now.
yeah.
What?
It's like super
Oh my
hot.
God.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
it's like 6 degrees right now in Melbourne today, I think. I'll
Oh,
check.
really?
Hang on.
It's winter
Yeah.
there right now. Yeah?
It's just
Actually-
really bad weather today. So it's winter. I'm just trying to check the weather. It's
I think-
8 yeah, it's 8 degrees right now.
Oh my god.
Lucky
So
you.
it's cold.
I
Yeah.
think when the COVID-19 is done, I'm gonna go there. I think I'm gonna live for
Oh
a
yeah,
while there.
You like the cold? I don't like the cold. We can swap. Maybe not 48.
Oh,
Maybe 48 minus 8, and then we're at a good
well, it's,
level.
it's all good. Yeah.
just an equal ratio.
Yes, exactly.
So
Like
yeah,
and like
appreciate, and then again, like people like you, special talented artists that use your platform for positive impact to the world. Like you guys help us see the world. Like I'm not an artist whatsoever, but the way you make us view the world in more detail is what people are taking for granted that they can do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
you ground us back to what the world's
Exactly.
actually like.
that's beautiful. No,
I
Exactly.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate
No doubt.
that.
No
That's
doubt.
beautiful.
Thank you for you. And we wish like one day, like in the coming like future, we could have you again here because it was
Yeah,
honestly
yeah.
the best
Yeah, for
the best
sure.
Maybe
episode
one day
till
we'll
now.
join like the
But when you have
workshop.
a bit easier, like smooth schedule, not with the schedule. I was like, I think I did I feel guilty for like, trying to ask her to
I
come over.
forgot. I'm usually
'Cause-
really, really good. I have everything written down. Like I have like whiteboards and everything. And
okay.
that is the first time I've forgotten something. So I'm so glad that you messaged me this morning because
Yeah,
I felt
yeah,
so
'cause-
bad. I was like, oh my God, no. I think you saw me. I even swore. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
like, because I felt really bad. So I'm so glad that you
But-
messaged me. It's
No,
good.
no
So-
problem.
but I hate to break it to you. My schedule's always like that. So, but we'll make it work.
We'll try to make it
well,
work.
then
Yeah.
then
Have
it
to,
is what it is.
honestly.
Yeah.
yeah. So
All right,
Yeah.
Daniela.
Thank you for
All good.
coming and appreciate your.
Thank you very much.
take care. Send some warmth my way. Thank
Oh,
you.
you can have it.
You can have it.
You can have it all.
Okay,
All
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
you.
Daniela.
Thank you for
See
your
you.
Have a good day.
advice.
Stay safe.
No worries. Anytime. Message me if you ever have any questions. I might take a few days to reply, but I'll always reply. So
Sure.
you can just message me on Instagram.
Sure.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Daniela.
Cool.
Thank
No
you very
worries.
much.
See you
Bye.
guys.
Right.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya. You too.
Right.